turned into a search and destroy mission for the Illinois State Redbirds. The enthusiasm there, but not the fans at Redbird Arena. Almost 1,000 under capacity as both teams race out of the blocks at a torrid pace. The first time out comes 9 minutes, 15 seconds into the game, tied at 18. After both teams catch their breath, the Redbirds go up as many as 8. Sean Jepson, the steal on the way up. But with 1:30 left in the half, Bradley's Jerome Robinson turns into a one-man weapon. 3 threes in the final 90 seconds of the half, including this one-hander to beat the buzzer. Game tied at 38.
I felt that I needed to get my game going, whether it was scoring or making an assist or whatever, but I felt that I had to pick my game up.
Robinson only gets 4 shots in the second half while his man goes off. Tyrese Bryson, a game-high 27. ISU also gets a double-double from JUCO transfer Shedrick Ford. A 19-6 run in the second half as ISU outguns Bradley 81-62 in game 1. Lots happened since that meeting 15 days ago, but both teams still in the race, Joe D'Alfonso, hoping that Creighton stubs their toes. Let's take a look at some of the keys for tonight's ball game. First, we begin with the visitors from Illinois State.
Okay, key number 1 is to keep number 21, Sean Jepson, in the game, period. He has fouled out of the last 3 Redbird games, and when he is out of the game, Tyrese Bryson has a lot more trouble scoring from anywhere on the floor. If Sean Jepson is on the floor, you can't double Bryson as easily because he can score in the lane. Jepson can score in the lane and from outside. Number 2, they have to take and make good shots early. The key to get the crowd out of the game is to make shots early, sit the crowd down, and then go with the flow for the rest of the way. It's the key for any visiting team, especially in Carver Arena. And then 3, they got to forget about Sunday afternoon. I was there in Redbird Arena when Drake upset the Redbirds. They got to put that behind them as fast as possible because this is a new game, and if they're not careful, the Braves will just smoke them.
There are the 11 Redbirds that played in the season opener for ISU this year. 6 of them are new to the Missouri Valley Conference. This is for more than half of this team, their first visit to Carver Arena here tonight. Let's talk about Bradley now, the keys for the Braves.
Well, there are a lot of keys for the Braves, actually, so we're going to get it down to 3. Number 1, don't allow a third amigo to have a big night. You know what Bryson's going to give you. You know what Jepson's going to give you. But when you have a number 33, big number Ford, Sharice Ford going out for 15 rebounds and 17 points, Bradley cannot let that happen. So they got to control everyone else besides 2 players. Number 2, keep number 5 in the game and throw him the ball. That's Jeff Raby. We saw what happened Saturday night against the Sycamores. He had a double-double in the first half, leading Bradley to victory. He's got to stay on the floor more than 30 minutes. And number 3, you can't really limit Tyrese Bryson's scoring. He's going to get his points. But the Braves have to make him harder to get. Don't let him shoot 14 free throws because he's going to make 13 of them. If he shoots 12, he's going to make 11. So make him earn his points from the floor.
And the people at ISU talk about how Bryson has rounded out his game this year, and that's one of the areas where he has improved. He gets to the line 8 times a game this year as opposed to just 5 last year. Of course, both teams exceeding expectations this season. Bradley picked 8th in the Valley. ISU picked 7th in the preseason. Both professors say they fooled the prognosticators by playing better as teams.
Whether by plan or not, our additions to our programs have been good team players. And what it's allowed to do, it's allowed the main players to step up there and lead even more. Because you can't have leaders if there's no followers.
As coaches, you try to get your teams to do those types of things, and sometimes they buy in, sometimes they don't, as we all know. But so I think that in general has probably made them a better team, and I know it's made us a better team as well. When you got guys who don't care who gets the credit, it's a wonderful thing.
Both teams exceeding expectations, and so is Bradley's leading scorer, Jerome Robinson. His story when we come back.
The oldest on the team, the captain, and all these young guys are looking up to me to.
Fantastic finishes the rule in the War on 74 lately. In 1999, Rob Dye on the road for the win. The first 3 attempt misses. He gets it back and makes this one for the Bradley win. Last January, Bradley and ISU tied at 68 in overtime. Kevin Clancy, the biggest bucket of his life. Can you believe it? 13 days later, it was Tyrese Bryson in overtime for the ISU win. Maybe another thriller tonight. Welcome back to the War on 74. Tonight's game features two of the top three scorers in the Missouri Valley Conference, ISU's Tyrese Bryson and Bradley's Jerome Robinson. Bryson putting up about 22 points a game, and putting up describes Bryson's game to a T. He's one of those players who seems to have no conscience when it comes to shooting. We joke with him that he feels comfortable once he crosses half court.
If my teammates got me going, I feel like I can make it from anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't look and see where I'm at to shoot it. I mean, I just shoot where I feel like it, where it feels good. So, I mean, it don't matter. I won't shoot from no right across half, though, man.
How many times do you lose your breath on some of those shots?
He has great range, and he's got the green light, as everyone knows. But, again, this year we're going to maybe try to get better shots and closer to the basket and maybe get to the foul line more.
We expected this from Tyrese, but Jerome Robinson, where did all this scoring come from? A good defender as a junior, but by no means a scorer. Robinson was the final cut from the Canadian Olympic team last summer. His anger over missing out on that trip down under, one of the reasons Jerome has lifted his game to new heights as a senior.
I'm pretty upset about the experience. It was hard to watch it on TV, even though I watched it and supported them, but it was very difficult to watch, and I'm just going to try to use that anger and fire as fuel for this season. I think it's senioritis a little bit, knowing that it's your last go-around, and knowing that I'm the oldest on the team, I'm the captain, and all these young guys are looking up to me to do something.
He's been the heart and soul of this Bradley team. Bryson is the Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Week. Scott Eunice says Bradley's hottest player is also the biggest.
Within the first 5 minutes of Bradley, Indiana State, it was clear Jeffrey Raby was on his way to a big game. 3 inside buckets during a 9-0 BU run. By halftime, the big guy already had a double-double.
Just keep looking inside, trying to get 10 toes towards the basket, so everybody, as soon as they catch the ball, they're looking at the basket, and I'm always underneath the basket, so, I just happen to be open, and they throw me the ball.
This was a credit, Jeff. We thought there'd be a day where Jeff could play 34 minutes. I didn't think he could even stand up for 34 minutes, much less play 34 minutes, but that's how Jeff's improved.
Raby is the leading candidate for the MVC's most improved honor. His scoring average has gone from 1.5 to nearly 7 points per game. He's second in the Valley, pulling down 7.5 boards, and leads the conference with an average of 2.3 blocks.
My main thing is defense. I mean, our offense stems out of our defense. So the more active I am with block shots and rebounding, I mean, that's just going to help our offense that much more. I mean, fast breaks and, and then, we get more energy, off of defense.
And Raby, along with Jerome Robinson and Eddie Cage, named the most improved team this week by the Missouri Valley Conference. Up next in the War on 74, the two generals speak. Stay with us.
I tend to remember the bad things you did more than the good things. And
Richardson is ISU head coach. Of course, he was on the sideline for 6 seasons with Kevin Stallings. So he is a veteran. He sat down earlier with our Mark Strauss.
I think you guys were picked 8th before the season. How did you evolve into a contender?
Our first year here with Kevin Stallings, we inherited a team that was picked to be first in the Valley, and I want to say we finished maybe 4th or 5th. We lost our first game in the tournament, and we didn't have the year that was expected of us. And so that's no fun, and it is a lot more fun than the other way around when you are doing things people don't expect. And what's allowed us, Mark, I think, is just the contributions of guys that have accepted their roles and have bought into what we're trying to do offensively and defensively, and they've been able to handle success fairly well. All those things, I think, are contributors to our success.
How much more comfortable have you been as the coach in your second year than it was when you were handed the baton?
I'm a lot more comfortable from the standpoint of most of the guys on our team now. I personally recruited as the head coach, and there's a big difference in that. And I didn't think there was such a difference because I was here previously, but there is. And So now with 3/4 of the team is guys I personally chose to pick to come to school and have a relationship with in that framework, it's made me more comfortable in my job.
Yeah. Outside of Illinois State, what basketball moment or memory are you going to take to your grave?
It was 1991. We were playing a regional championship. I was a high school coach at Nazareth Academy. We were playing a regional championship game at St. Joe's in Westchester. And at the time, we were 26-0. We had gone through the regular season undefeated, and it was kind of the upstart small school against the big state power. And we were playing in their gym, and we won that game. And I think that was probably the most exhilaration I've felt outside of Illinois State and some of the accomplishments we've made here. But I think that was one moment that is very special to me.
That's the point. Now the counterpoint. Jim Molinari meeting ISU for the 20th time in his career at Bradley as head coach. He's taken plenty of shots from the critics over the years, that is, but he survived 10 seasons in Peoria.
I know you feel pressure all the time. Did you feel more pressure going into this year to have a good year?
I think, obviously, I felt dissatisfaction. There's no doubt about that. Does that equate to pressure? I've always really tried to, make these battles, and I say this very sincerely, I think to survive in coaching, personally what I have to do is make these battles the Lord's battle. Then I have nothing to lose, nothing to prove. My battle is to do the right thing every day and demand. And I think that. And I think my other goal was to make up mistakes from last year. And one of the things I think what I have found is distance always causes error. Whether it be in relationships, whether it be in shots taken if you're farther away. And so I really tried to be more relational with my players. And I felt pressure in those areas. So, because last year I was very affected by the dissatisfaction, I think.
Yeah. And how has that changed you as a coach?
I think I'm more back to the coach that I used to be. I mean, I think, there's a real danger of trying to be a people pleaser at times. And I have this saying, I tell our players, it's a friend to all is a friend to none. And you tend to value popularity over accountability. So what you tend to do is before you step forward, see how everybody might respond to what you're going to do. And you lose your instincts.
How much harder does a job get after you've been at one place for 10 years?
Oh, it's hard. I think we have certainly done some good things here, and we have made some mistakes. I think one thing people can say is we've tried to build a program, not a season. We have tried to do the things that are based on some character people, getting them degrees, making them better people, and understanding we have to win. But I think what happens is coaching, it's entertainment, and I think we all know certain entertainment is that after a while, whether it's good or bad entertainment, people want to see different entertainment. And plus, people tend to remember the bad things you did more than the good things. And so it's hard to say.
And our thanks to both coaches for sitting down with us. We're just moments away from tip-off. A look back at the great over the years in this rivalry. Our Steve Shaw takes us out with a musical look at the best this rivalry's had to offer over the years. Joe and I will talk to you on the other side with the War on 74. We'll see you then. 74, take two tonight as Bradley hosts Illinois State. Hello and welcome to Bradley basketball here on WEEK. Lee Hall, along with now officially enshrined Bradley Hall of Famer Joe D'Alfonso. Congratulations on that, Joe. This is take two. Game one didn't go too well for the Braves. They got hammered in the second half. And, of course, everything begins and ends for ISU with their leading scorer, the leading scorer in the Valley, Tyrese Bryson.
I tell you, Lee, and thank you very much for the accolades. I was over at Redbird Arena Sunday afternoon watching the Redbirds play Drake, And, you know, from courtside, he's even more impressive than you see on TV or in the stands. He's number 7 in the nation in scoring, leading scorer in the conference, and he scores all different ways, outside, inside, and from the line. He's a handful.
Of course, Jerome Robinson had his string of double-figure games stopped Saturday against Indiana State. Well, maybe a key tonight for Bradley is Jeff Raby inside. He had a double-double Saturday night against Indiana State.
And what a man he was. He had a double-double at halftime against the Sycamores. 30 rebounds against the Sycamores in 2 games, and he was everything the Braves asked him to be Saturday night in their 2-point victory. He's going to have to be a factor tonight on both ends of the floor. He's the leading shot blocker and Braves number 3 scorer.
Bradley and Illinois State, they take center stage tonight in a game for second place. Starting lineups coming up next. There's Tom Richardson, the second-year head coach of the Redbirds, 28-26, 2-1 against the Braves, including a win 2 weeks ago. Jim Molinari in his 10th year at Bradley, 161 and 129. He is 203 and 146 in 12 years. 8-11 against Illinois State. This is his 20th meeting with the Redbirds in his career on the Hilltop.
He's done very well against the Redbirds. Kevin Stallings only won 1 time in this building, and he brought in some very, very good teams.
Bradley's won 17 straight here at home in Missouri Valley Conference action. Eddie Cage tips it to Jerome Robinson, and Bradley will start with the opening possession. A full house tonight in the rematch, the War on 74. Marcello Robinson in the lane, puts up the first shot of the game, and it's good.
Marcello Robinson started Saturday night against Indiana State for the first time in more than a month and scored the Braves' first 4 points in their 2-point win. And Marcello has Bryson to start off with. Man-to-man for the Braves as usual.
Strandmark top of the key. It's no good. Here comes Bradley. That's a matchup that Raby might handle better than the first game when he was guarded by Byers. 2 big bodies banging down low. Crowd on their feet. 2-0 Braves. We played almost a minute. Here's Byers. Off the glass and good. Byers, the transfer from the University of Illinois.
And we saw the double team on Tyrese Bryson that time. Marcello Robinson has him. Eddie Cage switched off and stayed with him and left Byers alone to shoot.
Bryson almost a steal. Robinson puts up another one. And the freshman out of Kankakee hits his first 2 shots.
Shooting with a lot of confidence, but he's got his hands full on the defensive end tonight.
Byers passes out of the double team to Strandmark. His second attempt is no good. His playing time has been somewhat limited this year. Gilbert gets some contact, puts it off the glass and good. Freshman 6, ISU 2.
It's interesting how the Braves are going to let Strandmark take that shot from the top of the key, a la sort of the Evansville Aces defense. They're going to look at one guy and let him shoot. Once he was in the starting lineup, he was negotiated. The Braves will probably not guard him until he makes one.
Bryson with his first shot of the night. It's off the glass and good. They count it, and he'll go to the line. Fouls on Gilbert is first.
Lee Stanholbeck told me back when he was coaching Bradley that when you have the best player on the floor, your team wins most of the games. Now, when he was coaching here his first 2 years, he had the best player on the floor. Tonight, the Braves have to get over one hurdle, that the visitors, the Illinois State Redbirds, they have the best player on the floor. And if they're going to have to win tonight, they're going to have to get over his hurdle, because he is, not only is he very, very good, he comes in this game hot.
Put up 30 in the loss against Drake. He's averaging almost 30 a game his last 5 out. 28.8 in his last 5 ball games. Braves a 1-point lead. Gilbert, pull-up shot on the baseline. Good shot. Cage, the follow, couldn't get it. Gilbert gets it back, off the glass. Good, and he'll go to the line. Philip Gilbert.
Philip Gilbert was the one who was quoted saying the first time these two teams met, it's just another game, and then he found out different. Tonight, Bradley leads quickly 8-5, all 8 points coming from freshman starting guards. 4 from Robinson, 4 from Gilbert. It's not just another game.
No, it's not. Gilbert almost 75% at the free throw line in his first year at Bradley. The freshman out of East St. Louis completes the three-point play. Bradley's lead is 4.
Bradley has not gone to Jeff Raby yet on their offensive possession into the post. Bryson's only got 1 touch on their end.
22 points a game for Tyrese Bryson. Passes out of the double team. They're going to let Strandmark shoot. He hasn't hit yet. So far, it's been a good strategy for Bradley.
And not only is he not hitting, he's getting the first opportunity to shoot. So it's quick shots taken by the Redbirds when he has the ball. Of course, he's wide open. He should take that shot.
Foul is on Shedrick Ford, the junior college transfer. His first team foul, make that second team foul on Illinois State.
Shedrick was the third amigo we talked about in the pregame. He really had a great game, probably his best Division I game against the Braves when the two teams met normal. Double-double plus great defense, and he didn't play a lot of minutes.
Byers goes for the steal. Bradley almost turns it over anyway.
Mismatch.
Oh my goodness,
Raby.
just throw it to him.
Rice is on Raby. Been on him a long time.
Robinson takes it to the hoop, and I think they're going to call a block on Randy Rice. You have got to see that mismatch. Randy Rice at 6 feet against Jeff Raby, 6'11".
Let's throw it up there. I tell you what, Randy Rice in the first almost 4 minutes deserves a Purple Heart. He's guarding Jeff Raby in the post, and then takes what he thought was a charge to turn out to be a block on the Braves' best slasher.
Here comes Dirk Williams out of Pekin. He'll replace Byers.
Sean Jepson had been starting. I know we mentioned this. He started 10 games and a few games lately against the Braves in normal. Sunday against Drake. Has not seen the floor yet. We've had 1 substitution. But he was named to the all-bench team this week, so maybe that's why.
You can't start him if he's on the all-bench team, can you?
Not too many times.
Bryson loses Marcello Robinson on a screen, but misses the shot. Here comes Bradley. Philip Gilbert tries the three. It's off the mark, and Williams comes down with a rebound as he falls out of bounds. 16 minutes to play first half. Bradley by 5. Jerome Robinson the steal. Rice catches up with it. Robinson goes around him. Jerome Robinson averaging 17.3 a game.
But not very much lately. He had his double-digit streak broken Saturday night against the Sycamores. He only had 10 against Wichita State. He has to score a little more tonight for Bradley to be competitive.
Marcello Robinson whistle for the foul, guarding Bryson.
Too tough a matchup right there. He can't get belly up to him because Bryson will drive right around him.
Good start for the Braves. They're up 7. 7-point lead, and we played almost 4.5 minutes. Dodge player of the game coming your way at the end of tonight's ball game. The Bradley player doing their best tonight will be recognized. Dodge different. And Bradley's been able to penetrate the ISU defense, Joe, and get some easier shots than they have lately.
Right. They made it a conscious effort to take the ball to the basket early with some drives. They have taken some jump shots. Bradley 5 of 9 so far early, and we talked about how Illinois State had to shoot well early. So far, it's not there. 2 of 6. Byers has made 1. Bryson, 1 of 2. And now Jepson is in the game for that 3-headed monster if Illinois State likes to promote. Ford, Tyrese, and Sean Jepson.
Bradley shooting 55%, ISU 33 here in the opening minutes.
You see Ford with the ball out there and Robinson on him. He made 4 3-point shots Sunday against Drake. That was a career high, so he will be guarded outside the arc.
Dirk Williams travels. Turnover gives it back to Bradley. Our officials tonight, John Higgins, Steve Morris, and Randy Heimerman.
It's a strong crew. John Higgins, one of the better young officials in the nation. He doesn't work a lot of Saturdays for the Missouri Valley Conference now. He goes over to the Big Ten. That's how you recognize a good young official. But strong officials, I've always thought, would benefit a road team as they're not intimidated by the home crowd.
Eddie Cage gives it into Raby for the easy one. Jeff Raby had 14 points, 12 rebounds against Indiana State.
That's his first touch of the night, results in a layup. There's the double.
And a foul on Jeff Raby. He's 40 feet from the basket. That's not a smart foul.
Well, the strategy there, Lee, is to double Tyrese Bryson and just make him give up the ball because he's not going to hold it very long once he's doubled. Then that's what Bradley wants him to do. Just give up the ball and have it just go somewhere else. You don't want to try to steal it. You don't want to guard him like you're in a press. Just make him throw it to someone else.
Bradley's on an 8-0 run. Here's Shedrick Ford, the transfer out of Macon, Georgia. Had the huge game against Bradley. Here he is again from the baseline, and he has taken his game outside quite a bit lately.
Yeah, he's got a good touch from out there, and he's shooting with a lot of confidence. At first when he came up, he was just a banger inside, and now he'll draw his man out and then open up things for drives for Bryson and Jepson. He's really turned into a really good player. Could be a newcomer of the year in the league.
Several good candidates for that out here tonight.
Sometimes it's how you finish for those awards. And right now, he's finishing strong, as is Tyrese. I think he's got a lock on the player of the year.
Inside to Raby again. They say he walked. Andre Corbett will check into the ball game. He was named to the Missouri Valley Conference all-bench team earlier this week. He replaces Philip Gilbert.
Bradley had a few honors, most notably on the all-most improved team. Jerome Robinson was the captain. Raby and Eddie Cage both made it as well. First time the teams had 3 members in a 5-man squad.
Ford guarded by Corbett. Double team the post. Byers drives into the lane. That's a charge. Gillingham picks up the foul on Byers. That's 14 fouls on ISU.
Talk about guys finishing. James Gillingham has raised his game tremendously in the last 3 weeks. He's really been the Braves' most consistent player when you talk about both ends of the floor. Now there he is, stepping in, taking the charge. He's led the team in steals the last 6 games. He shoots with confidence, takes it to the hole, and of course he's made free throws all year.
Gillingham down the lane, turns it over there. He has been very good this year not turning the ball over as a freshman.
Well, better late, and that's another thing. That was a strange play for him. He looked like he wanted to go all the way, but then hesitated.
Brady steps out to extend the screen. Williams ends up in the lane alone. Can't take advantage. Bryson works one-on-one. Gives to Williams. Player of the year in Peoria last year for the Dragons, but he misses that shot.
See, the idea is to let anyone else shoot it except Tyrese.
Bradley's been able to get it inside to Raby the last couple of trips. Will they do it again?
Sometimes you have to be very patient when you have to go to the post.
Corbett works on Bryson. Now Jerome Robinson for 3. It's off the mark, but the senior hustles after it. Did he get it? He did, and saves it to Bryson. ISU trails by 7. Ford puts up the 3. Ford was 4 of 6 from behind the arc Sunday. Raby's got the height advantage on Byers, but Byers used his quickness in game 1 to negate that. Here's Eddie Cage on the baseline. Corbett got a hand on it, but ISU comes out of there with it. Here's Jepson. Redbirds will work it in the half court. They haven't done anything offensively for a while. Jepson blocked on the 3 by Robinson. Gets it back, takes it inside, has it blocked out of bounds, and it's ISU ball. With 18 on the shot clock, Jepson comes off the bench and gets it handed to him twice. And Bradley goes
from behind the arc, one of the best shooters in the Missouri Valley Conference, and that's their pet play to get it to him. That's his spot, right at the top of the key. It's the easiest 3-point shot on the floor.
He's ISU's leading scorer from the field at 56%, and that's unusual for a guard. Here's Bryson, the one-on-one play, up and good.
Well, he handed it to Tom Richardson on that one. That was his second time out, and I think he got the message across. Tyree's got to start shooting the ball. So they set up the play out of bounds right for him. Easy jumper over to freshman Gillingham.
Tyrese, the leading candidate for Player of the Year honors in the Valley. He gets a hand on it here. He's in the top 10 now in steals, tied for 6th.
He's in the top 10 in a lot of categories. Free throw shooting, steals.
Byers gets it down low and he's fouled. Corbett. 4th team foul on Bradley. Cedric Knight, number 1 into the ball game now for ISU. Rich Byers goes to the line, 62% free thrower. Played in 32 games in a season and a half at the University of Illinois before transferring to Illinois State.
On the whole, both teams are very good free throw shooting teams. Both are over 70%. Braves are about 73. Redbirds just under that. When they have lost games, it's because of their free throw shooting has let them down. Sunday, for instance, against Drake in a 3-point game, Redbirds did not shoot it very well from the stripe.
Second one's no good. The whistle is on Cedric Knight. Reggie Hall makes his first appearance.
You always see a lot of substitutions when these two teams play because the energy level gets you tired in a bigger hurry. Everything seems to be more on an urgent basis. Coming up the floor, you don't see a lot of pressing, especially with these two teams, but the energy expanded is just tremendous.
Now that is definitely a game of one-on-one. Cage guarded by Knight. Corbett's shot rattles in and out. It's Jason Hammock bringing it up. He's a freshman from Texas. Knight, a freshman from Louisville, bounces it no good. Now here comes Bradley the other way, leading by 4. Just about halfway through the first half. Marcello off the dribble. Jim Molinari wanted a foul on that.
Right, he's looking at Steve Morris like you were standing right in front. What happened? I'm sure Steve has a good answer for that. Well, we were blocked out. We didn't have a good look.
Bradley's led by as many as 9. Cedric Knight inside, but he walked before he scored.
I'll tell you what, Tyrese Bryson is just a handful. He is fun to watch. You know, even when he's not shooting, when he's just penetrating and he draws so much attention, the dish-offs go for easy layups. He's just a handful. Top 10 in scoring in the nation. Only 2 Valley players have been there in the last 15 years. One played on this court all the time.
I remember him.
The other one was Maurice Evans of Wichita State, 9th a couple years ago. Bryson will probably finish there as well.
Latest numbers have him 6th in the nation.
Right, he's 6th, and the reason he's there is because he gets points any possible way. He shoots the 3, he shoots the 2, he drives to the basket, and he gets to the line a lot.
9.5 minutes left, first half. Shot clock now at 9. Braves play catch on the perimeter. Corbett takes it in, missed it, gets it back though, and puts it up and good. The sophomore out of Tampa with his first basket of the night.
Braves have led the league in rebounding margin all year long, and they're still there by a wide margin. I mean, 5 a game. The next highest is Wichita State at like a 3.
Hammett got around Corbett. The ball goes out of bounds. It'll go to Bradley. Raby checks back in. He replaces Eddie Cage. Williams and Ford back in for ISU. Byers and Hammock come out.
Jim Molinari saw Williams checking in for Byers. He likes the matchup, so he gets Raby right back in the game because he likes the freshman being guarded by the senior. Freshman guarding the senior. And Ford can't guard Raby because he has the height disadvantage.
It'll be Knight on Raby.
How about that?
Knight 6'6". Corbett down the lane. Andre Corbett, 7 points a game. He gives Bradley an 8-point lead.
He's shooting well lately, 50% his last 5 games from the floor.
Bryson held by Robinson, Marcello Robinson. with his second foul, and it was the exact same spot, the exact same foul.
Right. Well, you can't give him too much room because you respect the three-point shot. But if you belly up on him, he's just so quick. He can go by you left or right, and that's just a tough matchup. And what that does is just piles up the fouls on a team that gets the Redbirds in the one-on-one that much quicker because he's just so hard to guard.
5 team fouls on the Braves. Randy Rice will throw it in and throw it out of bounds.
Both teams average about the same amount of turnovers per game, about 14 a game. These two teams are really mirror images of each other. Almost picked the same preseason, 7th and 8th. Redbirds score a little more, but they defend the three better. But turnovers, assists, blocks, steals, things like that, all very similar.
I'll tell you, I wish I got to vote on the awards for this league, but as Gilbert puts it up off the glass and good, I'm kind of glad I don't have to vote for Coach of the Year because I'd have to vote for both of these guys, all honesty.
Right. And Kurt Kanansky is going to get some attention as well over at Drake.
Dirk Williams' fall-away jumper is good.
I'd say that's a big shot because Bradley was scoring and the crowd was in it for the first time since the opening couple of minutes. And he put the crowd down and silenced them. That's a big shot for a freshman, and he did exactly the right thing. Turned and faced his man, went up strong.
Inside, look who it is. Corbett again. He's got 6. Bradley's lead is 10.
Getting the ball inside with ease. Either on the drive or the pass.
This is the #1 offense in the Missouri Valley Conference against the #1 defense. Bryson fires up the 3, and it's good.
Gillingham did everything he should have right there. He respected the shot, kept his balance before in case he drove, and he just stuck it right there.
What can you do?
Again, silencing the crowd.
I don't know how you can guard that shot. I don't think you can. Under 7 minutes now. Give inside to Reggie Hall. He gives to Raby. Up and good.
Last 4 Bradley baskets have been layups. Make it 5 in a row.
Bradley back up 9. Sean Jepson waiting to get into the ballgame for ISU. They need an offensive spark here.
Very unselfish play by Reggie Hall that time. He had an easy layup just as well and dished it off.
Bryson foot on the line. That one's no good. Raby had a hand on it. Corbett gets it. Great start for Corbett. Great start for the Braves. They lead by 9.
This was not the up and down game we saw in the first half at Redbird Arena. That was tied at 38 at the half, and then Illinois State did everything possibly right in the second half.
Corbett was feeling it, or so he thought.
Wide open shot. Should have taken it.
4 of 24 behind the arc, though, before that. That's not his shot.
Maybe that's why it was wide open.
Maybe that's why Jerome Robinson is going to check in. Williams was open, had it, but Raby recovered. Rice put it on the floor, knocked out of bounds. It'll be ISU ball when we come back. Jerome Robinson and Rich Byers back into the ball game. It's Joe D'Alfonso.
Yeah, well, look at the entry pass here to Corbett. Goes up strong for the shot. That put him up 10. Bradley doing a good job, and it will show in the shooting percentages. Still over 50%, 11 for 21. Corbett coming off the bench, 3 of 6. Philip Gilbert, 3 of 6.
Bradley's 19 NIT appearances and 4 NIT championships are second only to St. John's. Bradley Facts, sponsored by WEEK.com, where you can see this game on the internet. Jepson into the ball game for ISU. Rice throws it up. Shot clock violation. It didn't hit the rim. Hey, Joe, here's a halftime score. Northern Iowa leads Creighton 35-30. This game could be for first place, my
That's
friend.
right. Yeah, if the winner, if it goes on to win, the winner will tie for first place. I think the winner of this game is going to finish second in the league.
Cage, top of the key. That's his shot. Didn't go that time. Here comes Jepson. Scored 51 on this floor in a game in the IHSA tournament as a junior. 51. Dirk Williams Byers knocked it out of bounds, and it's Bradley ball.
Bradley did a good job that time. You see how important scouting is. I told you, they like to get Jepson the ball at the top of the key, and what they'll do is curl him on the baseline and bring him straight out and through a pick. But that time, Philip Gilbert stayed with him and went around the pick, and he didn't have the shot when he caught the ball at the top of the key.
Bradley's lead is 9. They've led by as many as 10. Gilbert pulls up and I thought sure that was in. Here comes Bryson with it. Try to get it inside to Williams, and Rice comes away with it. Byers tries his hand, and it's good.
Once again, right in the face of Jeff Raby. The Redbirds have made a couple of good shots, and it's a good thing. But points are being hard to come by for a team that's leading the league in scoring. They're average to 75. They're looking at a half here under 30.
Jerome Robinson turns it over. Bryson lays it up and in. He's not a dunker. Jim Molinari wants time.
And that'll be the first time out of the game, so that'll be a full one. And we'll be leaving. Bryson getting hot.
Bryson has 10. He gets his team within 5. (24-19) our score. With 3:40 to play. You didn't miss anything. Inside. Raby, good. I could tell Saturday night he's just a different guy already.
Well, he's always been catching the ball well this year, and right now, the past week or so, he's been really finishing.
He was a different guy Saturday night, and he looks good so far. 6 points for the big guy. Bradley's lead back to 7. Ford dribbles out, shoots, and misses. He's only got 2 tonight.
Shooting over a bigger guy that time. Andre Corbett made it tougher.
The crowd kind of had a chuckle there with Raby as he eyed that three-pointer. As Corbett scores, Raby's taken a three-point shot this year. Corbett's got 8 now. He's the star of the game.
Plus, he's been showing good defense because he's a little bigger defender. Now he moves out on Rice, but he's a bigger defender for Ford. Gives him trouble.
Byers top of the key. And Gillingham got up above everybody and tips it to Corbett.
4 Braves against Ford that time. Mismatch on that rebound. Redbirds will not let you fast break.
Jerome Robinson tries to get something going. He's got 3 points. He's had trouble scoring lately, as Joe mentioned. Gillingham hit a couple of threes Saturday.
And there's one more.
That's one more, and Bradley has their biggest lead, 12.
Tom Richardson does not want to waste a timeout with about 1:40 left in the half. He wants to save him for the second half. This is off the Braves. He'll be able to pick it up.
But the shot clock keeps running. It's at 9. Bryson has it blocked. 4, 3, 2. Bryson foul with 1 on the shot clock. It's on Corbett.
I tell you what, Jim Molinari is going to go in the locker room very pleased how his Braves played in the first half. But if you had to look at one thing, the Redbirds are quicker to the loose balls. And twice or 3 times this half now, they have gotten to a loose ball and turned it into a basket. This will be the 3rd time since Bryson's almost automatic at the line.
83%. As soon as you say that, they miss.
Well, he made 13. He tied the Redbird Arena record for a game Sunday against the Bulldogs. He made 13 out of 14. And he has such a great touch out there. He's just almost automatic.
Strandmark back into the game. Gilbert will check back in for Bradley.
Now's the time to get players out who have 2 fouls, but you don't want them picking up that third one with 1:22 left in the first half.
Bryson makes the second. He's got 11. And Bradley's lead is 11 with 1:22 left first half. Illinois State in this one.
Well, he's become a better defensive player all year long. That time he showed the double team. It turned into a turnover and got 2 points. You know, Lee, we talked all year long how the Braves have taken the opposing team's top scorer in this building and turned into next to nothing. I think combined they average about 12 points a game, and they've come in averaging 17 or 18. That's not going to happen tonight. The Braves are not going to have the leading scorer have a bad night tonight. They're going to give it a college try, but Bryce is too tough. It all depends on how much help he's going to get.
Jerome the long 3. Gilbert's there for the rebound. Gilbert having a good first half. He's got 9. And Bradley's lead is 13, the biggest of the game. Bryson has 11 and not much else for ISU. Jepson. He hits the 3. The Spring Valley Hall native gets on the board.
Right, he had a great look. He was out there unguarded for a long time. Really had time to measure it up. Redbird's in the zone now. 3-1-1.
Shot clock's off.
Make Bradley take an outside shot. Whoops.
Raby in the lane. Kind of pushed it up there that time. And Coach Richardson calls time with 12.9 left.
Well, you know, you want the last shot, unless it's a layup. And that's what really Jeff Raby had. And he's been so good so often here lately. That's a good shot for him. But I think it was just wide open. He was too wide open.
Didn't expect to be that wide open.
Exactly. It surprised him.
We want to welcome everyone watching tonight's telecast on WEEK.com, brought to you by MTCO, building solutions for your communications needs. That was Raby's first miss of the night. He's 3 for 4 now.
Now, I'll tell you how big that miss is. The Redbirds now will have the last shot of this half and the first possession of the second half. Conceivably, they should knock in a 3 here and a 3 there. That will cut the lead down dramatically as we start the second half.
Rice picks it up with 12.9 left. I wonder who they'll try and get it to. Jepson will go ahead and take it off the back of the rim, and that's how the first half will end.
Good defense on Bryson that time. Didn't let him touch the ball. Jepson took a shot with a hand in his face.
Illinois State averages 76 points a game. They only get 23 in the first half. Great defensive effort by the Braves in Mackett Carver Arena. That's the mascot for the 53-23. Bradley has stormed to a 10-point lead here at the half. Great defense for the Braves in the first half.
Right. They've really shut down the Redbirds, limiting them to 39% shooting from the floor. They like to average 76 a game. They're at 23. They're not going to get there unless we go about 7 overtimes.
And Bradley has done a much better job. When Bradley's gotten in trouble in the past, they've settled for jump shots and 3-point shots. Saturday night, they got it inside to Raby. They've been doing a little bit of everything tonight.
Well, Bradley tonight, so far, has almost as many points in the paint as ISU has total. Bradley 20-0 on points in the paint at halftime. As you see it here, Andre Corbett going up for the 2. Redbirds have not scored a single point in the paint yet. Second chance points, and that's in the paint as well. Bradley up 9-2 on second chance points. So they're getting the hustle points. They're getting the close in. Here's a defense by the Redbirds. Randy Rice and Bryson combining for a fast break layup. And that's the 2 easiest points they had all night because the Braves have really been sticking it to him in the half court.
Bryson has 11. He hasn't gotten much help from anybody else.
No, he's the only player in the game with double-figure scoring. No one for the Braves, but they've had a lot of help. Corbett, 8 points off the bench.
A 10-point Bradley lead here at the half, 33-23. We will speak with Missouri Valley Conference Commissioner Doug Elgin when we Bryson, 11 points. Rich Byers with 5. And Sean Jepson has 3. For Bradley, the leader is Andre Corbett off the bench with 8. Check that. Philip Gilbert with 9. Andre Corbett with 8. Jeffrey Raby has 6. And now the question is, can Bradley keep this defense going for 20 more minutes?
Well, the Braves are 11-1 this year when they hold their opponents under 40% shooting. The Redbirds are 39, but Bradley also 14-3 this year when they shoot better their opponents. If the Redbirds are going to turn this around, they got to do it in a big way. 10's not a great margin, but it's how they got the 10-point deficit is what counts.
Bradley's held 21 straight teams under 50% from the floor. Shedrick Ford to the hoop.
And that's the first time we saw that all evening. We mentioned 20-0 in points in the paint in the first half.
Gilbert almost has it taken away. Wisely gives it up. Nice ball movement, Raby. And that's exactly what you talked about in the pregame, Joe, or maybe in the, I don't know if it was before the game or the pregame or when the heck it was, but you said it. Raby has got to make a quick decision, and he didn't that time. He waited for the defense to come to him.
Right. Well, you know, he's been just shot faking all the time now. He's been getting his man up in the air in the last couple of games, and that time he did it when he didn't have to. That was a sure 2 points for the Braves could have used right at the start of this half.
Jerome Robinson will try it from outside. Rattles in and out.
You always want to get that first basket early to get that monkey off your back until you're not on the schneid.
They go into Ford again. Looks like one of the Braves might have got a hand on that. Gilbert tries it and puts it in. He's got 11.
And a freshman will lead them. I tell you, first 9 points of the first half scored by freshmen. And here's Gilbert getting the Braves off in the second half.
Ford runs into Raby. No call. A lot of contact. It's got to be something. Here's Rice with the steal and Gilbert with the foul.
Both teams a little out of control here. I mean, they're trying to get the ball inside so much. They're passing up shots, not taking care of the ball. Braves only had 4 turnovers in the first half. And when you combine that with good shooting, I mean, that's a perfect combination.
Tom Richardson is one of the nicest guys on the planet, but he is hot after that non-call at the other end.
Randy Rice, junior college transfer, has really been a great help to Tom Richardson this year, being almost a coach on the floor. Does everything that Richardson wants him to do. Gives the ball up, shoots it when he has good shots. He's one of the main reasons they have the 5th best record turnaround in the nation this year.
Richardson is still in Steve Morris's ear after Ford bounced off Raby. And now Raby's whistling for the foul as Jepson takes it to the hole.
And that is 3 straight possessions for the Redbirds this half, going strong to the hole. We didn't see it at all in the first half. Bryson a couple of times, then he dished off. They didn't get points out of it. Now, second half, Ford twice, and now Jepson.
Check that, the foul's on Cage. I don't think Cage even touched it.
The replay does not show that Eddie didn't touch him, but it looked like a foul. Anytime you have your arms flailing in there at the driver, you're going to get called sometimes. Jepson also a very good free throw shooter. Nice touch, has good balance on the line, very confident.
Led the Valley in free throwing a year ago, 84.3%.
Now we're going to have some floor cleanup. Randy Hyman talking to the players in the lane, and John Higgins will take care of the sideline. As do the ball boys.
Bruce Sowers and Joe Napoli were complaining about it. Right in front of them. An update from Cedar Falls. Creighton now leads Northern Iowa 44-38 in the second half. About 10 minutes to play.
Indiana State didn't let the loss here Saturday night affect them. They beat the Aces of Evansville 78-42. So they shook that loss off, that 2-point loss, in a hurry and took it out on Evansville. Loser of this game will now tie Indiana State for a 3rd.
Jepson makes them both. It's an 8-point Bradley lead. Marcello Robinson will reset with 15 on the shot clock. Give it inside to Raby. Back out to Cage. That's his shot. He missed one in the first half. That's his first bucket of the night.
Well, when we say that Jeff Raby has to make quick decisions, he also has to make good decisions, and sometimes that goes with patience. And that time he was very patient. There's Ford inside again. 4 straight times now Redbirds have gone right to the hole. Well, that time Raby took the ball, had patience, saw the open man, and Cage hit the shot.
The Coach Richardson made the adjustment at halftime, and Illinois State still trails by 8, though, and Robinson throws it away.
That's an aggressive turnover. Robinson going to the basket. Jerome trying to get him in the corner for an open shot.
Robinson to Robinson, and they couldn't connect. Bryson over Jerome Robinson. I think he got a piece of it.
He certainly did.
Now here's Jerome for 3. It's good.
Well, that's a player who wants to go to the next level. He's guarding the opposing team's best player, blocks a shot or gets a tip, runs down the floor, gets a position, hits a 3.
Just the second 3 of the night for Bradley. They lead by 11.
That's a potential 6-point swing. I mean, Bryson could have easily made that shot, and Jerome gets 3 on the other end.
Jepson around a couple of breaks. Page with a block and the travel.
Steve Moore is going to talk this over and want to see if he has the yes. He wants to see if he has the call correctly. Tom Richardson looking for a jump ball call, which is the best thing that could have happened to him. Randy Heineman, the third official on this crew, stays with the call.
Tom Richardson, 6-year assistant to Kevin Stallings at ISU.
But the play was made defensively as Robinson turned him in the cage, and then Jepson had to shoot over the taller player.
Inside Raby, jump hook. That's there all night if they want it.
Lee, if you told me at this point last year that Jeff Raby was going to be far and away the best center in the Valley a year from now, I would have said no way, but he definitely is.
Only 3 Braves to make the most improved team. Here's Bryson. Had it blocked, and now Rice loses it, but a foul on Jerome Robinson as Rice tripped over him.
There was definitely a foul. The call just came late. That's why Jerome had a surprised look. He did get his leg out there.
That's just the first on Robinson. 13 foul on Bradley. We played 4:01 in the second.
Jeff Raby, there's your trivia. Let's do that first.
How many times the attendance at Carver Arena exceeded 11,000 prior to this season? And how many of those were against Illinois State? That's brought to you by your favorite Ford store.
Well, Jeff Raby leads the Missouri Valley Conference in blocks per game, and he averages more than 4 teams.
Ward gave it another try, but misses.
He affected that shot right there.
Jerome Robinson was the captain of the most improved team. He got the most votes.
Raby has 3 blocks on the evening. The Braves had 6.
Raby needed 10 to start the night to tie Adebayo Akinkole for the school record in the season. Bryson the block. Here he comes the other way.
That foul was on the floor.
Marcello Robinson, and Bryson dribbled the length of the floor with his elbow out to hold Robinson off. Robinson's whistled for the foul. That's 3 on Marcello, and they've all been trying to guard Tyrese Bryson. Welcome to the Missouri Valley, Marcello.
Well, here's the play. Now, there wasn't going to be a call until Marcello reached in there right at the last minute, at the last second rather, and got the call, and that's his 3rd foul. But right, you know, that's what's going to happen. You're talking about a freshman and guarding a senior who's quicker and bigger and stronger, and that's what you're going to have. So what does Bradley do? Bring another freshman to guard him.
James Gillingham is guarding Jepson. Now Jerome Robinson over on Bryson. Bryson's a senior, but here's the bad news. We understand from the Illinois State folks that Bryson could earn a 4th year of eligibility.
In his 5th year.
In his 5th year, correct.
Same with Reggie Hall.
Rice the miss. Bradley ball. Bryson sat out his freshman year, become eligible, and if he gets a certain percentage of courses toward his degree by the end of the summer school, he could earn a 5th year.
All right.
4th year in his 5th year.
Right. The Illinois State people say it's a lock. So he's going to be the player of the year this year, be the preseason player of the year next year, and odds on to take the award 2 straight.
Corbett kicks to Robinson. Jerome knocked to the ground. Rebound ISU. Out of bounds Bradley.
Sunday over at Redbird Arena, Tyrese Bryson was knocked down twice on three-point shots, got the call both times, made 5 of 6 free throws, but the game was won when the great Drake player, the freshman McDonald, was knocked to the floor. He made all 3 and won the game. We're going to see it right here and see how close this call was in the corner. There's Corbett with the drive, the kick out, and Jerome takes his time here. He really measures it up.
Jepson ran at him and got his arm. Back to live action. Robinson for 3. That one's good. Jerome Robinson with 9.
Well, the shot from the corner was right on. Just got the unlucky bounce. So Jerome called his own number and got it back because he's feeling it right now.
And the home team is pulling away in the second half. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? Same thing happened 2 weeks ago. Bryson can't do anything about it that time. He's scoreless here in the second half. Turnover. Here comes Bryson. 1-on-2 and a foul on Corbett.
I tell you, in that situation, and Tyrese did a great job. He left his man and stayed in the passing lane and made this play and then got down, and he's going to finish some way, somehow, and he's going to draw contact. The best thing an opposing team can do, an opposing player, is foul him before he shoots it. At least they're going to just get the ball out of bounds and not give him 2 free runs. Just foul him at the top of the circle.
He had 27 in game 1. And a Stephen Decatur makes the first. Gets them both. He's got 13.
Now, he hasn't had a rest yet tonight either. He's trying to do it on both ends of the court, defensively and offensively. He has not had a blow.
No, he's young.
If you're Richardson, do you dare take him out? That's the question.
Whistle away from the ball. Goes against ISU. Against Byers. Second on Byers. First team foul on the Birds this half.
And Tyrese can, going back to him all the time, he can afford to take chances because he doesn't have any fouls on him yet. He can afford to go for steals and easy buckets.
Byers and Raby bang away.
And
Raby just got hit
below the belt.
Yes. Cage in the lane. Hammett couldn't hang on to it and loses it out of bounds.
Tried to call timeout, couldn't get it done.
Bradley gets the ball with a new shot clock.
That's the way the Redbirds are going to have to do it. They're going to have to go after the hustle points, get every loose ball because everything else is going against them. The Braves have all the energy right now. And they also have a player like Jerome Robinson who's stealing it, and he wants to shoot the ball. We've seen that act against other teams.
He's open for 3, foul that time, and he'll go to the line to shoot 3.
Call his own number again on the out-of-bounds play.
Fouls on Jepson, his first.
And there's a rarity. Sean Jepson has fouled out the last 3 Redbird games. We talked about that in the pregame. That's just his first right now. So at least he's staying in the game. If you're going to have a comeback, you've got to have scores. Tyrese is going to stay in the game. Jepson's got to stay in the game. And Tyrese has got to get help from a guy like that.
Just under 79% at the line. The senior from Malton, Ontario makes the first. And he is in double digits. 24 out of 25 games this year. Reggie Hall replaces Jeffrey Raby.
It's a good spot for a substitution for Raby because in less than a minute you're going to get an immediate timeout. So Jeff could get 1 minute of play and another minute and a half for the timeout can come right back in. That's all he needs.
The Canadian goes for the hat trick. 3 in a row, you bet.
That's what happens when you have to respect a three-point shot. You go flying at these shooters, and sometimes you get 3 free ones.
17-point lead is Bradley's biggest. Bryson forced that one. Against a Bradley triple team.
Right. He was looking for contact is all he was doing.
gives it to Hall. And Corbett caught himself in midair and had nowhere to go with it, threw it. Luckily for Bradley, ISU touched it. They'll get it back with 12 on the shot clock.
Bradley getting a lot of dribble penetration. We'll probably look for some here as the shot clock winds down.
It's at 8.
Coach Mo says to James, let's go.
5.
There it is.
Gillingham stripped by Bryson. Here comes Hammock. Didn't look very graceful, but he got it in. Hammock with his first bucket of the night.
But the play was made by Bryson on a defensive end because he took a chance. He can afford to take more. There's one right there.
Strip James Gillingham. Crowd wanted a foul. And now contact from Gillingham. And he's whistled for the foul. Oh, and now tempers flare a little bit.
That is a technical foul has been signaled.
I think it's a double technical.
21, White. That's Reggie Hall.
First, the foul is on Gillingham, and I will check for the technicals.
Now, Gillingham just got stripped, so he's a little hot right now, so he's trying to hold his ground, trying to get the ball back, and that's an obvious foul. So we got the double whammy there. Got the ball stripped. Bryson didn't get the foul. He tries to get it back, gets called on.
A technical foul charged to each player of Reggie Hall and Therese Bryson. Bryson Hall received technicals. Gillingham received personal foul.
Hall and Bryson get technicals.
But
which are also personal fouls.
And team fouls, and that puts Bradley over the limit, or Illinois State into the bonus. Bradley now has 17 fouls with 11:50 to go in the second half. And that will prove big because that's how you cut into a lead, scoring when the clock is not running.
And I can't get inside the guy's mind, but it didn't look like Bryson tried to push Gillingham down. Gillingham got in his body, got his feet tangled up and fell, and the Braves took exception to that. Corners. They toweled down a little bit.
This is nothing. This is nothing. Our younger viewers, didn't get to see Jerry Thomas in the late 80s and Hollifield and people like that.
I know.
That was skirmishes. Right.
I don't think Bryson was trying to do anything. Gillingham got his legs caught up.
Right. See a lot worse on the playgrounds. Like we said, the biggest issue is 7 fouls on the Braves right now.
Right. Bryson draws contact. That one's on Jerome Robinson, his second.
Well, the obviously strategy right here is try to get to the free throw line, and Tyrese is going to get double teamed, so what he's going to try to do is draw contact. Now, he drove the baseline last time, had nowhere to go against the triple team, had to give it up. This time, he got the contact and he goes to the line. Redbirds went strong to hold to begin this half, and they should continue to do that to get back in this game.
6 of 7 at the line for Bryson. He's got 15. And Bradley's lead is down to 13.
But during the timeout, Jim Molinari got in the ear of the officials, and I think when Bryson throws his hands in there now, he's going to get called for a couple of fouls.
Got a hand on that one. Marcello's open. Little alley-oop from Eddie Cage. Nice recognition.
Great pass and a good finish by the little guy.
Cello's got 6.
Illinois State cannot afford to trade baskets. That's obvious.
Inside to Cedric Knight. Triple team. Hammock hustles after it. Gets it to Rice. To Bryson. He goes inside to Knight against Raby, and he'll go to the line for 2.
Jeff tried to hold his ground that time, but he was moving. We're going to see this the rest of the night, Lee. This game could go to midnight. We're going to see a lot of free throws.
That will significantly cut into our post-game coverage.
That's right. Jim Molinari's doing the math right now. He's saying, hey, 9-3 in fouls, and we're the home team. But, as we mentioned at the top of the show, you have a veteran crew, you have strong officials. They don't care what the crowd says. They don't care what the scoreboard says. They're going to call the game just like they see it. Happens to be 9-3. They're not counting them.
They don't care who wins.
Cedric Knight, the freshman out of Louisville, 52% free thrower. And gets the shooter's roll there.
There was a strong crew on the game Sunday at Redbird Arena, and I really think that benefited the Drake Bulldogs in their upset. First road win in Valley Play in 44 games. But they got some key calls down the stretch and helped them in a three-point win.
Back to reality in Cedar Falls. Creighton leads the Panthers 66-45, so this one's still for second place. Jerome Robinson posted up inside and wanted it. Whistle inside will go against Dan Leshefko just into the ball game for ISU, banging with Jeff Raby.
And that gets the Bronx cheer out of the crowd as, whoa, finally got one there. Braves can't worry about that. They just got to stay aggressive on offense, because if they just trade baskets, this is going to be a double-digit victory for the home team. We talked about points behind and minutes to play. Right now it's 13 with just over 10.
Jerome Robinson, the acrobatic move. Raby's there to pick up the garbage. He's got 10.
And now it's 15 with just over 10.
Hammock the miss, Ford the follow. Shedrick Ford averaging 12 points a game.
Yeah, but it's not a name we talked about a lot tonight on the offensive end, Lee. He's not having the game like he had in Redbird Arena. One of the reasons why Bradley's enjoying this lead.
Whistle away from the ball. Can you say it all together now, Dan Leshefko? And it's now a final from Cedar Falls. Creighton 69, Northern Iowa 50.
The Blue Jays want the tournament to start tomorrow.
12-4.
Yeah. I mean, they just played with the Braves on the trip to Omaha last week or so. I mean, they just played with them. Bradley was hot going in. They just won going away. They're going to win the league and be favorites to win the tournament for the third straight year.
I remember a month ago I said Bradley was going to finish the Valley 14-4, and you said that would be good enough to win the conference. And it looks like that's what's going to happen for Creighton. They finish at Drake, which is no bargain, and then host SMS. Eddie Cage inside.
And where'd the pass come from? Jeff Raby.
Braves lead back to 15. Jepson walk. Should have just shot that, my man.
Well, that's his game. He tries to penetrate, tries to get a good shot, sometimes going, and that's what happens. Tyrese goes out of the game, and he's got to step it up any way he can. Tyrese not out for long. Here he comes right back in, along with Williams. Coach Richardson trying to get a combination out there that's going to spark him for about a 4-minute period and get some fear in the Braves right now. Right now, Bradley has no fear. Crowd's in it. They feel like they're going to win.
Bryson has 14, but has not hit a field goal this half. Of course, Bradley shut down leading scorers on the opposition all year long here on their home floor. Jerome tries the three. It's short.
Got hit.
No call. Bryson tries the three at the other end. It's no good.
Jim Molinari saying, hurry up. You got numbers, go.
8:30 left. We've got post-game coverage coming your way here on WEEK. Don't go away. Twelve on the shot clock for Gilbert. Robinson, tough shot with 7 on the shot clock. He's going to go to the line.
It was inside the arc, though. Bradley with a lot of ball movement right now. And here's Tyrese Bryson leaning over, tugging his shorts. He's played a yeoman's game so far. 8 minutes ago, he's done everything asked of him. And so far, it hasn't been enough. He's still tugging there. He's out of wind.
There's a lot of guys out there who are gassed right now.
High energy game. I tell you, if Bradley plays at Illinois State, high energy game, come back home and play the Wichita State Shockers who had lost like 9 or 10 in a row. I think any other opponent coming in at night
would have given them a lot of trouble because of the letdown factor. Illinois State went on the road to Indiana State and lost.
Cello makes the second. 55-39.
Neither team this year has lost 2 games in a row in conference play.
Jepson for 3. Air ball. Williams walk.
Everything going wrong right now for the visitors. Tom Richardson cannot believe his number is 39 points with just under 8 minutes to go.
Bradley Trivia. Let's get the ball across half court first. Bradley Trivia brought to you by your favorite Ford store. Prior to this season, how many times the attendance at Carver Arena topped 11,000? How many of those games against Illinois State? Bradley's exceeded 11,000 5 times, and they played ISU twice. Well, it's now 6 and 3. Largest crowd in Bradley ISU history, Joe?
11,309 in the house tonight, and they're liking it right now.
Third largest crowd in arena history.
Right.
Idea by Randy Rice. Williams couldn't hang on.
That's 3 turnovers in the last 4 trips down for the Illinois State Redbirds. They're feeling the pressure of trying to get caught back up too much and not enough time.
Gilbert strong to the hole. The freshman with 13. It's an 18-point Bradley lead. Strandmark hasn't hit that shot yet. Sophomore out of Geneseo, 0 for the night. From here, Bradley goes to Wichita State. That's Saturday night. You can see it on WEEK. And the Braves finish at home Monday against Drake.
Senior night.
ISU goes to Northern Iowa Saturday, and they're home Monday against the Shockers. Shot clock at 5. Philip Gilbert with 3. Better get it off, son. There he does. Bounces it, but no good. I can call him son because I'm old now.
Philip Gilbert's a great one-on-one player. When the shot clock gets down, it's good to have it in his hands because he will get a shot off. May not make it, but he's going to get a shot off, and that gives you a second chance.
Under 6 minutes now. Jepson throws it off the official. Good save by John Higgins. Strandmark foul. He'll go to the line.
Just like
Williams.
Just like a baseball umpire, John Higgins is part of the floor. Ball goes off him. It's a loose ball.
James Gillingham picks up his second. That's 10 team fouls on Bradley.
Now, of course, if he's standing out of bounds, the ball's out of bounds.
It was Dirk Williams who hit the floor. The freshman from Pekin goes to the line. Led the Mid-State 6 in free throw shooting as a junior and senior.
Well, he's getting more time this year, and he's going to develop into a good player. And I don't want to say a typical Illinois State player, but I think if you go down through the years, you can name 9 guys that have his exact game. He's going to fit into that program very, very well.
He makes them both. He has 4. Shedrick Ford in for Williams.
Bryson's still the only Redbird in double figures, though, with 15. We talked about not having 3 amigos attack the Braves tonight. They don't even have 2. Bradley going to take time off the clock. They went down to 0 in the last possession. Just passed up the shot to the corner by Corbett. They must stay aggressive, though, on offense. You can't just milk it down every time and think the game's just going to run out.
Shot clock at 8. Gage almost loses his footing. 4, 3. Robinson with 2. No good. Here comes Jepson and the Redbirds. We approach the 5-minute mark. Gillingham with a steal. Jim Molinari waves him down. Come on. 16-point Bradley lead. Gillingham puts up the 3. It's no good. Neither team can score.
Both teams need a timeout is what they need.
Bryson ducks in, gets his own rebound, puts it up, reverse layup, and good. That's his first bucket of the second half, and he earned it.
With 4:30 left in the second half, his first field goal.
Jerome's open for three. It's good. Robinson with 15. And the Bradley lead is 17.
That'll take care of a lot of comebacks right there when your senior sticks in a three from the corner, when the coach is silently saying, I don't know about that shot.
Bryson tries to go around him, can't convert, and Bradley loses it out of bounds.
The Braves are in good shape right now to extend this Missouri Valley Conference winning streak to 18, and that'll break a tie with Larry Bird's teams in the late 70s. Only 3 teams will have better streaks. The great Bradley teams of the 50s, the great Illinois State teams of the 90s, and the great Wichita State teams of the 80s.
Another block for Raby.
It should be win number 18 in a row, and they'll need 3 more to catch those shocker teams of Gene Smithson.
Under 4 minutes. Corbett, nice pass to Robinson inside. Great pass by the sophomore to Marcello Robinson. Marcello will go to the line.
Just like the Braves had no answer for Ford over Illinois State in that game 2 weeks ago, really the Redbirds have had no answer for Andre Corbett tonight. He's done everything. There's a drop-down pass, can do nothing but foul on that. And Marcello Robinson has played very, very well. He got the first 4 points for Bradley to start off this game and has really steadied himself throughout the entire ball game. 2 freshmen. Gilbert, 3. Gilbert, Gillingham, and Marcello Robinson. We're going to be in this rivalry for 3 more years, along with Williams, people like that from Illinois State. Redbirds return almost everyone. Fire is the only player they lose off their roster for next year.
I bet they're not picked for 7th in the Valley this season.
No.
Byers, top of the key. It's good. He won a state championship on this floor with Shelbyville, the first Class A championship won here in Peoria, 96.
There was a 2, followed by a quick timeout by Coach Richardson to put up with possibly a different press. Got to do some things to try to get points in a hurry. Now, they've already gotten Bradley in free throw situations, so the Braves are going to be shooting the 1-on-1, and they're probably going over now. If they don't steal the ball in the backcourt, who are you going to foul once you get in the front court? Bradley doesn't have many bad candidates. Even Jeff Raby has made 15 of his last 18 free throw attempts.
They made him down the stretch Saturday night against Indiana State.
Right. Strange game there. Bradley didn't make a free throw until 3:40 left in the game, and then made their last 9 out of 10 to seal a 2-point victory. Different press, 2 men on the ball.
Shedrick Ford with a foul, his second. 8th team foul on ISU.
And that means Corbett will shoot. But he's 74% from the line.
The sophomore had never seen snow and never played defense until last year. Seen a lot of that the last 2 years, hasn't he?
True on both counts. That's right. So a lot of, I think he liked the snow better.
Without a doubt. Get that one to go. Under 3 minutes now. Here's Byers. He's a good shooter.
Well, he is.
He just hasn't seen enough of the ball in the second half. To ISU's liking, anyway.
Bradley gets it across midcourt any way they can. Now they can set up, take some time off the clock, and let Illinois State force the action. If they're going to foul, they're going to foul early. If not, then Bradley's going to take the time off the clock. It's that simple.
side, Eddie Cage over Ford and good. Eddie Cage was 6.
Excellent offensive set that time. Did everything they wanted to do.
I said before the year I thought Eddie Cage ought to be good for about 10, 12 points a game, 7 rebounds. He's 9 points, 6.5 rebounds. He's played pretty well his senior year, considering everything he's come back from.
The crowd's going to start celebrating right now. Jerome Robinson says, stand up and let us know what you think. We're under 2 minutes, and this game is going to the Braves. And Bradley be all alone in second place behind the Blue Jays of Creighton.
Corbett can't finish. Here's Jepson wheeling and dealing and missing. You said no 3 amigos. Bryson's been the lone amigo.
Right, and even he has earned everything he's had in the second half here. 1 field goal. Just couldn't do it all by himself. When he didn't get help early, it spelled doom for the visiting team. The halftime mark was too much to come back from.
Now Jerome wanted to put an exclamation point on this one and couldn't. We approach the 1 minute mark. Bryson with a 3. He's got 20.
And that'll let some Redbirds in that don't see the floor very often. As Tom Bridges said he's going to give a taste of this game in this rivalry in the last minute of play. And I imagine so will Jim Molinari.
Had 3 in a row go to overtime, and now we're going to have 2 in a row, probably double-digit differentials.
Right. This is a game, though, a little different than the one in normal, because that one was tied at 38, very entertaining at the half, and then Illinois State just took it to the Braves. You just played a perfect second half over there. Bradley had this game in their pocket, and you didn't think that at the time, but now do you look back and say, wow, 12-5 early, and it really didn't get under that from the first TV timeout, and so they really had it in the hand from the get-go. Very good game plan, very well executed.
It was 16-10, and I don't think it's been any closer since then.
No, I don't think so. Of course, Doug Elgin and the other Valley members here tonight, their wish is for these 2 teams to finish 2-3 in the league. That means if both teams win in St. Louis on Saturday, they'll get to play each other on Sunday afternoon, and that's never happened in St. Louis.
You've seen a lot of these, so probably just about every one, haven't you?
Yep, just about. When they got in the league, I was the SID, and I saw the games before that when we were just trying to play home and homes and trying to ease them into the league.
Which one was the best one?
Wow. I'd say the Bradley game here in 1986, when Jimmy Letts made the shot to force it to overtime with his left hand. They had a lot of great players on the floor.
ISU's favor is probably the one they won in the field house in, 82?
Double overtime game.
Valley, is that a tournament game?
In the Valley tournament, that's right.
Back in the Rick Lamb days?
Yep. Bob Donowell was the coach, and they earned every bit of that game. Bradley earned this one, though.
That they did. 64-52, your final. They love it here in Peoria.
And just like you see on ESPN every night, the students on the floor celebrating a big victory.
2 weeks ago, it was the Redbird fans in Normal. Tonight, it's the Bradley fans celebrating a win over Illinois State and a move into second place all alone behind Creighton.
Right. We talked about Bradley in their final.